Everyone likes a good story. A good story is like the mortar that binds bricks together. A family history story, your personal story. Come with me to other times and other places. Do you hear that? Do you feel the vibration on the ground? I felt that same thing years ago. When I was about your age, I lived in a small town in eastern Utah. I was bored with my surroundings. I wanted adventure. I wanted adventure like I heard about my pioneer ancestors, about my father, about my grandfather. I wanted something different. One day I heard that sound of that train, and I ran. I jumped aboard. I stood out and looked and found the right time to get aboard that train so that the train engineer didn't see me. On that train, I was so lucky that I found a car with food in it. Tons of bananas. I ate ripe bananas. I ate green bananas. I ate rotten bananas. For 3 days, that's all I ate, bananas. When I finally arrived in California, I hated bananas. I never wanted to see another banana again. It was strange because my job in the circus brought me some affinity for the monkeys that were there because they also eat bananas like I did, hand over fist. My adventure soon lost its meaning, and I grew bored with the circus life, and I longed for home. So I returned home, but I never forgot the life lessons I learned, and I never, ever could eat another banana. Don't you say the word banana around me. I could reach you with my cane. I remember hearing the words spoken of by my great uncle Bill. It was amazing to hear his ideas of adventure and to hear his life story. Those things stayed with me. Next, come with me as we explore my father's life. I was the second of 4 boys. I lived in a small town. We were poor during the Great Depression and going into the years of World War II. I had to work hard on my family farm. We took odd jobs. One winter we moved dairy for the local dairy. We went across the point of the mountain, and there we were in a blizzard where we had to travel about 5 miles an hour as one of us stayed out in front with a lantern and the other drove the vehicle with milk in it. I had adventures on my family farm where I learned self-reliance. I learned that if something was going to be done, I needed to do it. I had to step up. My father was crippled from an illness, and I had to be that person to provide for the family because my brothers were largely irresponsible. They were more interested in playing the rodeo, other things that would keep a boy busy. When it came time to graduate, I found that there was a job for me in Idaho, digging post holes for a telecommunications company, telephone company. That job soon ended when I got drafted into the Korean War. And in California, when my unit was called up to go to Korea, I had this feeling that I should go to the announcement board. So on the very day that I was supposed to go to Korea, I went to the announcement board. I saw that I'd been reassigned from infantry to the Signal Corps. I thought, I don't know a thing about signaling or communications. I only dug post holes in Idaho. Well, God had something else in store for me. Sadly, every one of my friends from my infantry unit, none of them came back alive from Korea. I learned a lesson in self-reliance. I learned a lesson in faith. These stories are stories that my father told me, and they stayed with me. They were like the mortar on bricks, binding us together and binding me with the stories that he also told about his father and his ancestors. My own life has been one with some strange experiences that I have shared with my children. When I was a young child, I felt emptiness. I felt a longing for something different, and I wanted to go to church. So I asked my mother if she would take me to church. And it was really difficult because we didn't have any friends. there. It was really uncomfortable for my mother to be there, but we kept going. And eventually, she was asked to play the piano for the primary children. I remember each Sunday that I would run up when I felt uncomfortable or scared, and I would sit next to her on the piano bench. And that what made my day. That made it so that I could tolerate being there, someplace where I felt like I needed to be. That experience and others helped me to live a different life than my siblings. Their lives were turbulent, full of all sorts of chaos. My life, although it was full of challenges, I had some tranquility. And I was able to serve a mission in Michigan, Detroit, in the Michigan-Detroit mission, where I learned to appreciate people of very different backgrounds and different cultures. My skin color was different. I learned what it was like to be a minority. There I ate chitlins, I ate collard greens and black-eyed peas. And eventually I started to see people as similar to me and not just different. And at that point I was able to then converse with people on the streets. I met drug dealers, I met prostitutes, I met people that wanted something different in their lives. That difference was something that I found as a child. And I was able to share that with them. These experiences helped me to be able to find the right woman that I married in the Salt Lake Temple. And now I have 8 children, and my children love to go to church. They follow the teachings of Jesus Christ. So my story has brought them to understand my background and has bound them to me in the way that it bound me to my father, in the way that it bound me to my great uncle. These are the stories that I encourage you, similarly, to share with your families, your children, to dig deep for those in your own lives and in the lives of your ancestors, to be able to share that, to bind your hearts together. Madam Toastmaster.